Welcome to Shallow Waters, where we're not afraid to admit that swimming in the same deep water as you is hard. And today, I'm welcoming you to the kitchen of the Purple Palace. I'm currently cooking some rice and I'm gonna be chopping up some veg and cutting up some chicken, but I just wanted to chat for a little bit. So if you'll join me for a second, I would really appreciate it. So here I am with my ever-present little friends. This is Claire. She hates to be picked up, so I'm gonna put her down. And then, hold on one second. These dudes are never far away. They're always close by because they're kitties. Mwah. All right, now I gotta wash my hands. I'll be right back. So this video is about the importance of washing your hands after handling cats and before handling food. Actually, it's not what it's about, but it could be. But I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys while I made dinner because my mind has been all over the place in the last half a day. I watched a video that was really interesting to me. It was from a woman who is a young woman. I'm guessing she's probably in her late 20s or early 30s, at least by looking at her. She is married and she mentioned she does have a kid. But she considers herself an ex-fundamentalist. She grew up in what she calls the Quiverful movement, although her parents didn't call it that when they were in it. But they were involved in a brand of Christianity that was somewhat strict and very patriarchal. And one of the things that she grew up learning was the umbrella of protection. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but I am from church. And that was something I learned about when I was in my 20s, because unlike her, I had almost the opposite trajectory. I was not Christian as a youth. As a very young youth, I identified as Jewish. Later in my life, I just think I identified as a believer in God without really any particular religion. And when I was about 25, I became a Christian after my, at the time, fiance, we were about to be married, got involved in the church. And then later I got involved after our marriage and eventually got more and more involved. And there were a lot of positives to that. So I don't want to say that all Christianity is bad or denounce Christ or anything like that, because I still very much believe in God and believe in the salvation that Christ brings. I know some of you probably do too, and some of you probably don't. And it's something I would encourage you to explore. I definitely don't have all the answers. In fact, I would say there's a lot of contradictions in my beliefs, in part because I haven't really fully fleshed them out. Is that the word I want? Is it fledge or flesh? Okay, well anyway, I haven't done that yet. So, long story, slightly shorter, this woman was raised in a strict Christian family, and then as an adult has come to question her beliefs and kind of move away from them. But one of the things that she talked about was being raised inside a Christian marriage and some of the things she witnessed between her parents that were basically traumatic for her, and some of the beliefs that were difficult for her to digest and kind of move beyond. And one was the umbrella of protection. So under the umbrella of protection, God is at the very top. And then there is the husband / father below God. And then below him is the mother. And then below the mother is the children. And probably under the children might be the pets, you know, if you want to make it cute. So in that model, you're only protected if you stay in your place. You don't have God's protection. You don't have your parents' protection. You don't have the protection of the things above you unless you're in line, like right below in the hierarchy. And this does make women powerful over children, but it makes women also less powerful, less influential, less important than their husbands or the children's fathers. So it is a kind of an interesting belief system, and it's one that I ascribed to probably from the age of 25 or 26 until I was about 40, 41. I think I started questioning it around 40, but I was still living under it until I was 41. And it was interesting to hear her stories of verbal and later physical abuse that she primarily witnessed between her parents, but also experienced some as a child herself. And how that system reinforced doing nothing about it. For example, and this is one of the more mild examples, but at one point her father was very angry. I think she had like given him a nasty look while he was hurting her mom. I don't know if it was verbally or physically, but she was witness to it, and she was giving a nasty look to her dad, and he got really mad, so she ran into her room and closed the door and locked it. And he told her that he was going to kick in the door if she didn't unlock it, and he kicked a hole through the door and broke the door. And later that day she was talking to her mom about how sad she was about her door, and the mom said, "It's okay, sweetie. We can get a poster. No one will notice." And that really just hit me so hard, because in this type of system, and in certainly my past family life as well, I was very much like that mother. I would be more concerned about what people perceived or saw, and more concerned about keeping the children as in line as possible than I was about their feelings. And I really regret that now. I really see that as a mistake. You know, I didn't question the authority. I didn't, well, until it was too late, but that's another day. But so many times I would just sweep my kids' feelings under the rug and just put some type of Band-Aid on it and tell us to, you know, put on our nice clothes, put on a smile, and move forward. I mean, my intention was always to move forward into a better future. I mean, I wasn't trying to undermine my kids, but the only thing I could think of in my life as a strategy for almost anything was to forge ahead. And there was no thinking about your feelings, and there was certainly no thinking about your children's feelings. Hi, Tedwin, are you coming back downstairs? I hear you. How's the movie? Hi, sweetie pie. Do you want to be in my movie? You were watching a movie. I'm in a movie. Come on over. It's a movie of me making chicken. Hi, this is Ted. He's my handsome guy. Was it a good movie? Yeah? I'm making chicken for dinner, okay? Let me go get some oil. Hold on. Do you want to come watch me cut things while popcorn's popping? Be right back. I'm back. I feel like I was always forging ahead and pushing the children along or dragging them along with me, towards a brighter day and a better future and the best outcomes. And I was always striving for that. But it was like it was a race, and you just had to push past all the distractions, especially the distractions in your heart or your head. There was no time for that. I also believed it wasn't my place to question some of the things that were happening. So it made it very difficult if I didn't 100% agree with things. I felt like I had to side on whatever it is my husband wanted at the time. And over time, I just stopped even asking myself what my opinion was or what I wanted, because it would always get overruled. So it really was a silly exercise to share your thoughts. But as much as that impacted me, and I've done a lot of soul searching about that in the last few years, I don't really think that I've thought too much about how that impacted the kids. Of course, I've thought about how the divorce has impacted them, but now I wonder how much being in a Christian marriage home, witnessing somebody be superior to somebody else and somebody be inferior to somebody else and feeling like you're the most inferior of all, I don't imagine that felt very good. And I really regret approaching things like that or living that way. I know at the time I thought that was what was right, and I thought that was what God wanted of me. I spent a lot of time praying about not being selfish, about trying to be submissive, about being quieter, being more feminine, not having such boisterous opinions. And I don't think I gave a lot of thought to how that would harm my children. I thought it would benefit them to grow up in a home with traditional values. So that was a hard listen today. And it's really stuck with me. And I think my little friend's on his way down, and I think I better put these cut vegetables in the pan. Hi, sweet pie. Love of life. What can I get you, sweetie? You want the popcorn too? It's in the microwave. Do you want the popcorn? It's in the microwave. Oh, you want a cup of water? Okay, you can have that. I'm gonna start touching chicken, so if you want the popcorn, you have to get it. I'm touching chicken. It's so gross. You know, some of you are vegetarians out there and you're probably like extra super gross. But anyhow, I think that's how I'm gonna do it, those strips. Yep, go get your popcorn. Go get it. Thank you, sweetie. Don't forget to close the door. Uh-oh. Here comes a cat. Kitty, back off. Kitty, back off. Kitty, back off. So yeah, that's something I've been struggling with. I don't know. I don't know if any of you have had similar experiences, either because you grew up in a Christian family, or because you have a Christian marriage, or because you had a Christian marriage. And how do you handle the umbrella of protection or the hierarchy of who's got power and who gets control and who's submitting to whom. How did you handle that? I mean, I imagine if you naturally had very kind, loving people who had all their shit together, pardon my language, that, you know, it probably could be okay. You know, I get the theory of it, but we're all imperfect people and nobody's infallible. And because of that, really, I feel no one should be under the authority of another imperfect adult human. It's just not right. And I feel bad for saying that because I know it's heretical. I know it's blasphemous. So I've kept my mouth shut the last few years about what's been in my head. But that is something I've definitely struggled with. I know that God and Jesus are not the same as modern day church or a specific church organization or specific pastor's words. There are the words in the Bible itself. There's also the words of Jesus and of God in the Bible. I'd really like to sort through all that and figure out who said what and how much of it applies to everyone or to the specific situations that they were addressing. Because I do find it confusing, and I do find that my internal moral compass just doesn't line up. It's not right to let somebody else treat somebody else wrong. And to be complicit in that, whether that's somebody else treating you wrong or somebody else. There's somebody at my door. It was my grocery shopper person. They found this in their car. It had fallen out of my bag. Isn't that sweet? That was really sweet. I think what I was saying, it was good, was that my moral compass doesn't line up with not speaking up when someone's being mistreated. And that really should include myself, and certainly should include my kids, and certainly should include anyone that I can safely stand up for. Maybe even unsafely, because, you know, you're always supposed to speak up for those who are weaker than you. And by weaker, I mean not necessarily smaller or physically less strong, but maybe even just less powerful or in less powerful position, in a less I guess advantageous position, less privilege. I don't know. I don't want to use the word privilege. That comes with so many like hot buttons with it now. But anyway, less power, I should say. Less power and control. I mean, that's what my moral compass says, is you're supposed to stand up for people, including yourself. You're supposed to always be kind. But sometimes being kind doesn't look like being kind. It's doing the right thing. And I used to tell myself to do the right thing a lot, but a lot of times the doing the right thing was really the wrong thing. It was like putting up with shit and letting bad things happen and not speaking up and biting my tongue. And I'm just so glad that's not how I'm living anymore. But I definitely at this point don't know how to undo the damage I've probably already caused. And I'm just trying my best not to keep messing up. I just hope my boys turn out okay. I know it's not easy for them, and I know they don't think I really ever listen to them. And it's probably because of what their experience was when they were little. Because I do listen to them, but maybe it doesn't matter because I didn't listen to them then. And they needed me to listen to them then. And not necessarily what they're saying is reflective of now. Although sometimes I don't listen to them because, you know, ADHD and paying attention. But I really try to listen to them. But I think for a long time I didn't. And that's really sad. So I will finish making my dinner and enjoying this beautiful Sunday and my new glasses. It's cold out today. It's like 50 degrees and I have a sweater on in June. Welcome to New England. So this has been Shallow Waters. It's a little deep today. I hope you'll join me for another one of these talks. And clearly I have to take my peppers back out of the frying pan. So I will go, and I hope you like and subscribe. And I would love for any of you to make comments, join in the discussion. I love hearing what you guys have to say. It really expands my world and my worldview. I always have my opinions, but I think testing my opinions against other people's is very helpful. I think also just understanding other perspectives is very helpful. So please chime in. And until next time.